Joe.
Hi there, it's Pete the Hipster King, and we're here with another one of our lockdown specials. And we have received this prototype, Food Time Battles in Space.
In space.
And this is going to be hitting Kickstarter in February, so not too long to wait now. And we got sent this out, and we'll tell you all that we thought about it in just a second. So, needless to say, Ange, I'm going to hand straight over to you to talk about how pretty this looks.
The artwork.
Yeah. So, the artwork is very pretty. It's nice kind of, what is it? It's like, it's very kind of cutesy, cartoony. It reminded me of, what's that cartoon?
Laboratory.
Yeah, that's it. Dexter's, whatever. Yeah, liked it. So, some nice bold colours on there as well, and those characters just look brilliant. So you've got the critics, and then you have your own unique character as well for the different kind of restaurant that you are representing. I was, what was I? Was I burgers or pizza?
You were burgers.
Burgers.
I was the jalapeno.
And I was the
Mexican restaurant.
What were you, Dave?
Sushi.
So basically in this game, we're all playing restaurateurs. We've each got our own restaurant, and we have a set of critics that are going to come round, and our job is to try and impress them by creating the best food we can. We do that by using our little deck of ingredients that you can put your meals together from. So at the start of the turn, you're going to draw 3 cards into your hand, and you have to lay those down. You pick, and you've got to place them down in numerical order, and this is where it becomes a little bit complex. So I'd lay them down 6, 9, and 10, and I'd place them down. I'd have first chosen one of my critics that I'm going to try and impress, and the critics basically come with the number of ingredients you need to fulfill an order for them, and they've got a little gold diamond thing here. Basically, if you have one of your specialist golden ingredients there in your meal that you're preparing for them, you're able to keep this card. And this is where this game gets really interesting, because each of the critics, if you get to keep them, comes with their own special perk or special power. It's a one-time use, although there is a way that you can kind of get those back, but you get your one-time use for these. Now, the other thing that we're trying to do is some of these critics, I'll give you a couple of examples, have got an extra icon, that little star and half star. This is a race game basically to be the first to get 5 stars. So you've got to collect those critics with the stars, but obviously a whole star here, you've got to get 7 ingredients out. You've got to get them out in numerical order. So if you pick 7, 9, and 10 and you lay that down and you're trying to get 7, you can only lay your next cards higher than a 10, and the numbers go up to 12. So this is where the perks come in, because the perks allow you to cycle cards out of your hand, to move 12s and 13s back into your deck, and things like shuffle them back in. So it's kind of, I guess it feels a bit like that kind of, it's an engine builder. Basically, you've got to pick your low-end cards first of all to get lots of nice basic perks, but not many stars, and then start comboing those up to hit some of those bigger stars. So you've got 3 levels, and your final level, there are only a couple of these. Look at these. These are 2 stars, but they require 8 or 9 and all of your golden ingredients to be able to get their perks. But they are super powerful perks if you can get a hold of them. So really nice little engine building game. Plays really quickly, about 20 minutes or so. I played this with my son, 15, 20 minutes. I'll be honest, when we played as the Game Lords over the internet where we were learning the game, it was sort of 35, 40 minutes, which I'll be honest dragged a bit, but that was our first time. I think the next time we'd be playing this in 20, 25 minutes, and at that time limit, it would be a lot of fun.
It is really hard to get those big meals ready when you're looking at even sort of 5 consecutive numbered cards, especially without those critic perks. Is really hard work, and you are relying on the drop of the cards. Once you've got some critics in, though, you've got things like simple things like discard 2 cards and draw another one. So if you end up with a hand with 2, 10, 11, you can get rid of the 10 and 11, draw something else, and that's just going to give you such a better chance of getting those low numbers that you need at the start of the order. It is very much an engine builder, really, because you need those critic perks to be able to get the cards that are certainly the ones that are going to get you a full star. You need to go for the easy stuff, gradually build up until you can get a nice little combo going of draw 3 cards, make your hand size 2 bigger, because obviously having 5 cards that you can pick the order to is far easier. Discard a couple of those to get some lower cards, and all of a sudden you can get those 7 card meals out. So it does take a little bit of thinking about. There is quite a bit of luck, but as a sort of a nice, easy filler game that should play nice and fast when you're not messing around on the internet in the middle of lockdown. It's one of those nice little games that you can just crack out. There's no sort of hard rules to learn, so very easy, I think, to sort of just pick up and play with anybody as well, which is definitely an advantage.
Yeah. So I think also
nice and easy.
Yeah, it is. There is a take that element to it, which actually can be brutal. As Dave said, it does take a bit of time to build up and to get going, and actually the cards themselves can be quite hard because you've got the numerical order thing that you're playing to, as well as the critics requirements. And then if somebody comes along and takes away your stars, it's really frustrating. And also, if you go for a critic and you are unsuccessful in getting that
this is painful.
Critic's approval, then actually you lose half a star, which you could have spent quite a while trying to get hold of. That happened to Pete often, and he kept on attempting. In fact, it looked like Pete was going to win the game, but he kept on attempting this really tough critic and losing.
You could almost say he bit off more than he could chew.
Cheers, Dave.
Yeah, totally.
The other thing I really thought was a nice little mechanic that may just work the game really well was your own individual chef. So your head chef has got 3 possible actions that you can use, and basically it's a bit like you tap your cards when you've used them, and the same with the perks. So with this one, you can draw an additional card. So if you've got a critic that needs 4 cards, you can draw that 4th card before you lay any cards down, and then you can lay your 4 cards down onto the table in order. You've got it. You've got it. Dead easy. You can refresh a critic ability. So if you've used that perk from that critic, you can refresh them using this. So you've got a chance there to do that. Or you can start working overtime. If you've missed an order, or if you've fulfilled an order, you can go again using your special ability. So you can go and get a second one if you want to keep going. The cards you've used are used and they're gone. So if you had a 9, 10, 11, 12 and you've got those out, you know that those top cards have gone. So actually you've got a chance of still working that bottom half of the deck. So there's an element within this engine builder of a bit of push your luck. Are you willing to take that extra chance and go again? You can, if you haven't already used the abilities on this card, because you can only use them once, and then they go stale is what they call it, which I like, food analogies. Wow. So they go stale, and then at the start of the next turn you back up and you can use your one ability. The other thing that you can do if you want to, you can basically forfeit your turn to refresh 2 critic abilities, which potentially, if you've got a really nice engine going, could make a difference for your next turn, because you could bring those 2 back and try and get that last couple of stars you needed or whatever. So it is dead simple.
I think one thing we learned through bitter experience is actually sometimes it's worth giving up that go.
Yeah.
And this is possibly where Pete went wrong as well, is trying too hard to get the stars. And actually, it would have been better to go, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out get those 2 critics back and have a much better chance of going next turn rather than
that's
hoping
actually
for the
that's
best.
what you and I did, Dave, isn't it? Often I'd be like, I'm missing this go, and you'd be like, yeah, same, and then it'd be Pete going, I'm gonna try again.
I've only got 4 cards, but I'm gonna try a 5-card combo.
Come on.
But yeah, getting those critics, for me, my technique was I went for all of the low critics at first, and then was able to combo those critics, which helped loads. And being able to then get on top and build up those stars. That was my winning technique, I think. Did I win?
So, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Whereas
you did.
Pete was just like, take me to the top critic.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I built a little bit. I think I think this is, in terms of where this fits in. I think this is a really nice kind of entry level filler game, filler type deck builder. So it's teachable, it's simple, but it gets the idea of how you build an engine, and you could help it. You've got the 3 levels you're going through. It's pretty, it's simple, it's easy to learn, it plays quick, so you could have 3 or 4 games quite quickly without it eating up the whole of your game night. Or if you're playing with new gamers, or family, dead easy to play as well. The other thing I know as part of the Kickstarter, this is obviously prototype, so all the artwork could change, but he's hoping, I know that Niall's hoping as part of this to be able to have different artwork for each one, so each critic has an individual piece of art for them, so it's not just, at the minute, the 3 levels of critic are all the same picture, but that's, their hopes are that very quickly within the Kickstarter that'll be a stretch goal that allows them to do that, so they're looking at that already, I know. But I think this is a great little game, dead easy to play, dead simple, and lots of fun.
Yeah, one certainly to look out and get involved with, I think.
So check it out on Kickstarter in February. It is Food Time Battles in Space.